The member for Corangamite.
Thank you very much, Mr Speaker. Last Sunday I was incredibly proud to join the Foreign Minister, Lindsay and David Fox and family, Justin Giddings, the CEO of Avalon Airport, and Tony Fernandes, the global CEO of AirAsia, for an incredibly significant announcement for our region. Avalon Airport is going international. Victoria is to have its second international airport. AirAsia has struck a deal to fly from Kuala Lumpur into Avalon twice a day before the end of the year, which equates to around 440,000 passengers in and outbound. This represents a huge economic boost for the Corangamite electorate and right across the Geelong region and the southwest of Victoria. 187 direct jobs will be created, and visitor expenditure is forecast to double in 10 years to $582 million. By 2028, they'll also generate an additional 2,000 jobs as a result of this investment. There will be approximately 10,000 kilograms of freight capacity per annum, meaning the region will now have direct access to Asian markets. Mr Speaker, I'm very proud of our government's support of Avalon through the Department of Defence, including placing Avalon in the regional package, which helped make this happen, our master plan, which has triggered some major investment, including by the likes of Cotton On. And over the coming months, our government will be working hard to support the construction of an international terminal, as well as the provision of additional resources for the border agencies, customs, immigration and quarantine. One of the very first campaigns I ran as a candidate back in 2009 was to make Avalon international. And why do we have to campaign? In 2007, AirAsia reached an international flights agreement with Avalon, but soon after the election of the Rudd government in early 2008, the deal was dead. Incomprehensibly, Labor rejected Avalon's proposal to build an international terminal. This was one of the most terrible economic decisions that we have seen in our region in many years. In an article in the Geelong Advertiser on the 31st of August 2012, the member for Corio said Avalon put forward a proposal that did not safeguard Australia and Geelong's interests. So what precisely does that mean? Why was AirAsia's deal to fly to Avalon in 2008 contrary to the local and national interest? The member for Corio has never been able to produce any evidence to support his claims. He also justified this decision by claiming the government would need to know details of how many quarantine and customs officers would be required, along with federal police officers. He said it's hardly prudent to grant international status in the abstract because opening up another door to our country in Geelong's backyard carries with it many risks that cannot be managed without this information. It was absolutely extraordinary. In reality, Mr Speaker, this was nothing more than a flaccid, pathetic excuse by the member for Corio for his government's incompetence. On his watch, the member for Corio let this happen. He simply did not fight for Avalon to become international. As I say, he's never produced any evidence to support his claims because this was all just baloney. Our government is working through the detail, including the number of federal police and officers and custom officers required, but that, Mr Speaker, is not going to stop us making this happen. I will be working day and night to ensure that the Turnbull government does everything possible to facilitate this wonderful economic opportunity for our region and for all of Victoria. I will also be fighting for the Avalon railway station and a rail link direct to the door, something Tullamarine cannot offer, which I hope will attract more international flights and carriers. Tony Fernandes has already flagged the possibility of more flights to Bali, Thailand and India. Mr Speaker, a number of weeks ago, very proudly, the Prime Minister announced a city deal. This and the economic fortunes that this deal brings is an incredibly important part of a city deal which focuses very much on transport infrastructure, air, road and rail. I'm very proud of the city deal. I'm very proud of our $20 million of investment under the Regional Jobs and Investment Package, $250 million in upgrades, in rail upgrades we have delivered for our local region. And this is another wonderful economic opportunity for jobs, for small business, for tourist operators and I'm very proud to be part of a government that's delivering record jobs growth to our nation, including on this very significant project. Thank you, Mr Speaker.